On this episode of Delivering Marketing Joy, I talk with Eric Dingler about creating a website that works for you. Hey there, and welcome to a brand new edition of Delivering Marketing Joy. I'm your host, Kirby Hausman, and joining me today is a longtime friend, first-time guest. He is the owner of Coastal City Creative, which is an awesome white label website creation company. And in the interest of transparency, he does the websites for Hausman Marketing, my company as well. And I really appreciate you taking the time. Eric Dingler, thanks for joining me, man.
Hey, Kirby, thanks for having me on. And this is exciting. Always good to talk to you. And I'm excited to get into this.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I do, as you said, let's get into it. I want to kind of talk about this because you've been doing websites for a long time now. And, I know that you've probably seen some great ones and you've seen some not so great ones. So what are some mistakes you see organizations making when they create their website?
Yeah, great question. I get this question an awful lot. And so I've really had a chance to look at it. A couple things that I generally see. One, people have the idea, I'm going to build this website and people are going to come to it, because it's going to get found out of the 500 billion websites on the internet. Yeah. And so that's kind of the first mistake. The second is then they create a website that they like. I'm constantly working with partners as we're building their website and having to remind them like, yes, I get that you think the text is too big, but remember your typical website visitor is 65 because you're in a nursing home. So maybe the text needs to be a little bigger, and so just things like that. And then they put on way too much content. Like, when we're designing a website for a restaurant, they don't really care about the 2,500 words you have to say about the history of how your website or how your restaurant came to be. Like, right. People don't care. They want to know, what do you have for them? And so I think that kind of are the big ones. And then the other actually really big one is they build a website. Then maybe they come up with a way to get traffic to the website, but then they have no way to make a connection and start nurturing a relationship. And that comes down to a lead magnet and then email sequencing and all of that.
No, I love that. And it's one of those things, I think it's a challenge that you and I have talked about in all of marketing, is that we do sales and we do marketing that matters to us. And I think what I take away from that is like, think of the customer, what they care about and what matters to them, and design from there, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And think about all the fundamentals of marketing, especially when I work with people that are in marketing, they suddenly forget all of these fundamentals. Like, somebody's going to see my website one time and they're going to lay down $5,000 at my feet. Like, are you kidding me? Like, that doesn't happen. You have to nurture that relationship. You have to be in front of mind, and people get weird about that. Like, we'll be working on setting up like an email sequence and stuff or something like that. And they'll be like, yeah, but only 10% of people open it, or 15 or 20% are opening and reading it. That's okay. Everybody else still sees your email every week or so. And yes, they swipe to archive it, but you're front of mind. Right. So the next time they think insurance, pizza, hobby, whatever it is you're in, you're the person they think of. They don't Google such and such near me. They know you because they've been seeing your name over and over and over. So the goal isn't always, yes, of course, we're constantly striving to figure out how to get them to open emails. Sure. I mean, that's ideal. But the secondary win is they signed up, that right. You got their email. And the words make a difference. I just this week saw something I was so excited about. Can I tell a story about?
Yes, please.
All right. So I'm working. One of my clients is a brewery. They were scheduled to grand opening 2 weeks ago. Well, as we're recording this, we're in the stay-at-home orders. Every restaurant is closed, and they're just like, what are we going to do? Right. And so we got together and we said, hey, listen, why don't you host a virtual beer garden? All right. Like, get some people together. And they liked the idea. They drug their feet. Literally last Friday afternoon call and goes, hey, we're doing this Thursday evening. Like, we're ready to go. And I'm like, okay, we've built nothing. So we built, over the weekend, we built a single page website for them, thought about the story and really worked through the story brand process, the Donald Miller stuff. And I told him, I said, hey, listen, I want you to have realistic expectations. We're going to put this out there. You're going to get 10, 15 people. Like, you're only going to be promoting the webpage for 24 hours. Like, you're going to get 10, 15 people are going to give you your email address. 5 are going to show up.
Right.
Okay. Well, they had 40 people sign up to their email list in 24 hours, and 30 of them were on the Zoom virtual beer garden, right? What they did was amazing. Here's the 2 beers we're going to feature. They're not done brewing yet. And so they partnered with another brewery, sent people to that brewery. People were sitting there cracking the beer open, and the master brewer sitting there talking about the recipe and the process to that. And it was an amazing 1 hour online, and they were seen now as somebody elevating others in the community.
Super good.
Yeah. And now they have these email addresses of people that they're going to be able to start maintaining that relationship. And the first time they go to do takeout orders, man, they've got some raving fans that are going to be at their doors.
I love it. I love it. So,
yeah.
So when you are meeting with clients to discuss a website, I'm curious, what questions do you ask? And I guess sort of secondarily, are they the same questions you've always asked, or has that evolved?
Yeah, good. Totally evolved. I used to just ask, what do you think makes a website look nice? What are your favorite colors, and all the stuff? And we designed really great website, and that's how I got started. But really over time, I've learned to what really matters is, what are your goals? What do you want to do? Like, if you need your website to be the driving force of bringing $1 million of revenue into your business, well, let's get it right,
Right.
and that's one of the questions I've come to ask is, like, what's the value this is going to bring? Listen, I've got some clients, like we've got one client. She has a website all about the Jamestown Exposition of 1908. There's family hit. You know what? We built the website for practically nothing. She pays $500 a year because she's just doing it as a passion project to honor our, the community and our family. But then I've got other clients that are like, we want our, we need our website to make $500,000. This brewery that I'm talking about, they're investing $2.5 million to start this business.
Right.
This website has to work. Well, to do that, we need to put the resources behind it to make it work. Right. And so we got to bring on some, we bring in some experts, copywriters and stuff like that on our team that can make that work. So
that's cool.
But the questions revolve around what are your goals? What do you need it to do? And then who's the ideal website visitor?
Yeah, that's key.
I can get you a lot of traffic. I can get you 10,000 visitors next month. But if they all make, $30,000 a year and you're selling a $5,000 product, ain't none of them going to buy. So, sorry.
Yeah.
So your website has to look completely different, and you have to market it different if you want to reach people, a demographic of people that are making $100,000, $150,000 a year.
Yeah, no, that's great. Understanding the goal of the client is so key. So, final question for you: if someone wants to create their own site, let's just say, or they're working with someone for a site, what's one piece of advice you'd give them to make sure it hits the mark?
Read the book Marketing Made Simple by Don Miller and do what it says.
Yeah. I love it. Yeah. I'm actually listening to that book as we speak. So yeah, it is very powerful.
Yeah. Really good stuff. And then ask to look at a web designer's portfolio and never look at their own website, because our websites are the last ones that get work.
Yeah.
Because the client stuff gets done first. And so I'm always like, yeah, you can look at our website, but it needs some attention. So, but
Yeah.
look at this one. Look at this website.
Yeah, that's fair. That's
Yeah.
100% fair. But and the reality of it is you've sort of given us clues all through the interview where it's like think about the goal and what you're trying to accomplish and kind of go at it through there as opposed to hey, I want it to be pretty. And I think so many times that's the big thing. So, well, hey, you have answered my 3 questions. I appreciate that. I give everybody a chance to ask me one question. Do you have one for me?
I do. So I'm curious. I know that you are, you create content like nobody I've ever seen before. You're a content producing machine. And I know that also comes with the element that you take in content, you're reading blog posts, reading lots of books and things like that. But what I wanted to ask you was this. I'm trying to level up my content creation game and I struggle. I can sit down with somebody and it's one of those things. It's really easy for me to map out ideas for somebody else, but when I think about my own business, I'm like, I don't know what to write about. I'm just kind of curious when you go to 2 things. I'm going to make this a 2-parter.
Yeah, please.
When you started out, did you start out creating the amount of content you create right now, and on your journey, how have you got to the point where you're able to produce content? Like, who are you thinking about when you write a piece of content? So that's my questions.
Yeah. So the first question was, did I start at the clip that I'm at now? No. And to be honest with you, I think at the beginning it was like I knew I should be doing something, and also in the interest of transparency, I enjoy doing it. Right. Like I like writing, I like creating videos and stuff like that. But I wasn't sure why. I wasn't sure what. It was just like, I'm just going to throw a bunch of stuff at a wall. And where the magic sort of happened for me is when I realized through trial and error that it wasn't like you write one blog post and the world opens up. It wasn't like you do one video and it's Dollar Shave Club and it's viral. Where the magic happened for me was consistency. Once I realized, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do a weekly word, right? Every single week I picked a word and I did some sort of personal development piece. I did it every week for like, I don't know, 2 or 3 years. I mean, I just kept after it. Delivering marketing joy like we're doing now. I think this is going to be episode 289 or something like that every single Wednesday. Once I realized that consistency was the biggest key, everything changed, because then you go, well, I'm not looking for, I'm not trying to create a viral video. I'm trying to create a valuable video. And then if you do it consistently, then you start to get feedback from the audience, right? Oh, this one really did well. This one didn't. Why? Was it timing? Was it the content? And I think because I always compare content to fitness. Like so many people with fitness, they start a workout plan and they kill themselves for 4 days. After 4 days, they're sore and they don't really see anything different and they want to die. And it's like, no, I don't want to do it anymore. And so they stop, right? Content's sort of the same thing. Content and social media. It's like, I'm going all in. I've been to a conference and I'm doing this. And they do it for 2 weeks and they're not millionaires after 2 weeks. And so they stop, right? And so, but in reality, both of them, if you do just a little bit every single day, you will lose weight. If you do a little bit every single day, you'll have an impact on your business. So like for me, I have scheduled it in the morning where I write. Well, if you do it all the time, some of those will be good. Some of them won't. Delivering marketing joy every Wednesday, I create my own accountability structure, right? And so then, back to, and one final thought about this is I think when I started doing content, if I'm being transparent, I was very egocentric. Like I created content that I wanted to look at or that I thought made me look smart. Ultimately, the content that has really resonated is the times that I'm transparent, the times that I talk about how I've struggled, or the times that I'm like, okay, these are questions my clients continue to ask me. I need to answer them in a written or video form. Kind of a long answer, but does that help?
No, that's really good. It's the exact same thing with designing a website.
Yeah.
Identify your website visitor's problem, and show them how you're going to, and solve it for them, you know, or
Exactly.
show them how you're going to help them solve it, really is the
Yeah.
best approach. But thinking about them, and yeah, no, that's good. That's good stuff. That's good stuff.
Well, it's funny because I think at this point, after 4 or 5 years of doing this sort of thing on a regular basis, there's a lot of people who look at me and go, "Oh, well, you know, this is easy for you." Well, A, it's still not easy, but B, it just you do anything for enough time, and it, you do get better at it. And so, hopefully. Well, Eric, I really appreciate you taking the time. Thanks so much. We'll have to do it again sometime. Okay.
Sounds great, Kirby. Thanks.
All right, man. That's going to wrap up this edition of Delivering Marketing Joy. We'll see you next time.